Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Or coming to you with some more Company of Heroes 2 1v1 action. I gave you guys a game the other day, and you know what? It gave me a craving to do some more. So today on Semoisky Winter, we have on the western side of this river, DonnieChan playing as the Wehrmacht. His opponent over here playing as the USF, it's Cruzz. Now, we had seen some USF Wehrmacht play a little while ago. If you haven't checked at that game, you should. I'll take a look at commanders in just a second, but this is again, guys, on the new December community balance patch. There's a fair amount of changes coming out through for both sides. Now, speaking of commanders, though, let's look at the commanders first. MG42 coming on out, very different than what we saw that last game. Donnie's bringing on in Jaeger infantry, Jaeger armor, and lightning war, so he's all about the hunters, and not being the hunted. Cruzz, on the other hand, well, he's got himself naturally airborne company. He's going to also bring in recon support and that heavy cav company, so maybe we'll see Pershings, maybe we won't. I could not tell you for sure. What I can tell you for sure is that these riflemen have lost their grenades, their smoke grenades at least, giving them over to these rear echelons. So with this early machine gun, well, these riflemen are going to see themselves having a much less viable early opportunity here. Frustratingly still, we also see that this machine gun has not been able to get inside the church from this side, courtesy of those pioneers. Americans are diving on in, trying to pick up this fuel point, and should do that pretty darn easily, rushing it in, getting it before the 140, 145 mark. Germans, on the other hand, well, they're more concerned about the actual taking of territory, which I guess is understandable. May not be the first thing that people think about, but that works. And going for a more mixed build than we saw, I guess, the last USF player. 2 riflemen, 2 rear echelons. Usually see that trip rifleman no matter what. MG42 will rotate, and these riflemen will regret the day they were ever born. Or maybe they won't. Pioneers, in the meantime, will take at least this center VP. Taking a fair bit of damage to do it, but at least they're taking it. And dropping a model in the process. That's not wonderful, but it could be a heck of a lot worse. Germans are at least going to pick up one of their own fuel points over here. But the Americans are still dominating that fuel income status. I'm looking to even do more of that, it looks like. Riflemen swinging on around. Swinging on around, trying to, nope, I thought they're going to maybe try to put some pressure, take these southern points down here. But they are also a little bit close, and why bother? And indeed, they're more concerned about putting pressure on these grenadiers, and that's a great call right there. Of course, with 3 squads of German infantry, even these rear echelons inside a house are not going to want to be there. Grenadiers are taking a shellacking, though. They're going to have to be forced back. And pioneers are doing a good amount of work. Wow. Don't you just love that about this game? You know, it seems like nothing's going on, and then you have 15 different things happening all over the map. Changes, by the way, over here for these 81mm mortars. These guys are getting a little bit more of utility with their smoke barrage because the riflemen have lost their smoke. And yet, I think they're here more trying to get eyes on and to push back that machine gun. Good call there as well. Rear echelons, these guys are holding out pretty darn well. Getting forced back finally. They have 1-star veterancy already, and they didn't take that out, did they? No, they didn't. Okay, so that went over to these pioneers. Alright. But stovepipe going on in, and here's going to be some barraging happening towards that MG42. So it's going to be hot time in that church tonight. Germans, in the meantime, while they're pushing on around to this northern side of the map, looking to see some territory coming under fire now, like I said, and that MG has not moved yet. He's gonna want to. Oh, is he gonna want to? A fairly quick lieutenant coming on in. That's a good call right there. And 2 squads of riflemen coming on in. We just see human wave tactics pushing on back those poor Germans. Might even take out a grenadier squad on retreat. No, just barely doesn't. Machine gun shifting on forwards. That's a decent call. I think he is he's going to be able to see this mortar crew. If not, he's going to see just barely out of range. Ooh, wow. German's mortar in the meantime, the GR34, like not the Wehr, throwing out beautiful shot. Geez, taking out 2 models and allowing that decrew from this grenadier squad. It's a machine gun and grenadiers pushing on back against these riflemen, doing a decent job of it. These guys are taking a lot of damage. You can see right now, calling in the mortars as well. Riflemen getting forced on back. Now, down to the south, we are going to see finally that these rear echelons are shoving on and pushing back the grenadiers and doing surprisingly good amount of damage here. Wow, I am honestly surprised about that. Germans, in the meantime, will take the mortar away from the Americans. And DonnieChan, well, guys, he's got this map pretty darn locked down for the second. He is taking some losses here and there. And you can see right there, the lines of supply being disrupted, but, you know, although he's under a great deal of fuel disparity. Oh wow, never mind, I have to take that back, guys. I was wondering who the heck they were shooting at there. They're going after that GR-34 crewman and the captured M1. Well, that's not going to be enough. Putting rounds now into that church, and it looks like a very, very different mirror of what happened a couple minutes ago. Only this time, well, the Germans have themselves kind of surrounded. Not completely so, perhaps, but it's kind of surrounded. These guys are probably going to retreat pretty darn quickly. A half-track will be coming on in for the Americans. I'm trying to see what else we have going on here. Well, Grenadiers trying to exchange firepower over here. It's a good call. Rifle grenade will shut back, at least for the moment. And the LMG against the BAR, well, wet noodle contest for the moment. Down to the south, they are going to try to take back this fuel point, which is a great idea since they are under, well, a fair bit of pressure, to say the least. They're also trying to seize back some of this territory yonder. Shockingly enough, neither guy really has any veterancy whatsoever to speak of. With a couple of squads here and there getting pwned pretty much the entire way through. But all in all, now we're just waiting on this AA half-track to come on in. This guy's going to cause a lot of problems. Luckily, this Grenadier is going to get out pretty safe. And these poor guys, they don't have the Faust in the way to actually handle that. I would like to see cruzz using this actually just reversing the entire way through, but, you know, unfortunately that's not going to happen necessarily. And we have a moment of relative quiet across the field, 488 to 462. And both players are just marshaling their forces. Is there any sort of bunker being pulled down? Well, there is, but it's not being upgraded just yet. Heck, we don't have that lifetime mechanized company. No, we do have a lifetime mechanized company. Okay, there we go. That's pretty darn good. But the Americans are still up quite a bit. Quite a bit, if absolutely nothing else in just terms of raw map control at least. 7:30 in, guys. 474 to 462. This AA half-track is just going to chew this church to pieces. Making a very holy place indeed, and bringing on in more and more support here. These Grenadiers need to back out now. It is time to go, my friends. Mortars are coming on down, though, causing that AA half-track no small amount of consternation. Ooh, wow, one more round might have been enough to actually kill it. That's impressive right there. I haven't really seen too often mortars taking on out a particular vehicle. Well done nonetheless. The Americans, though, continue to control a fair portion of this map. This machine gun, while he is not quite able to do a little bit more than just kind of throw down discouraging fire from long range. You know, to the south, the Americans take back this fuel point yet again for themselves. The Germans kind of, well, they're struggling, that's to say the least. Medic bunker being pulled on in, that's a good call right there. And it looks like they're trying to threaten to take this position, and they will. But a 50 cal is going to force them back before they can really pat themselves on the back too much. I almost would like to see these mortar rounds being thrown out to take out and push back against this particular 50 cal. Worth noting, by the way, in the meantime, a Pack 50 coming on in against that AA half-track. Pack 50 has been getting a minor bit of changes. His target weak point no longer does that brutal amount of stun. It does a good stun, but it's a 75%. Oh my gosh, I want to say slow there. And it does disable weapons for about 5 seconds, but it no longer just makes the guy sit there and wait to be, well, shot up the bum.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
And these mortars need to be used a lot more aggressively, I would say. That right there shouldn't be happening. This right here should be pushed back as well. I feel like there's some missed opportunities here from DonnieChan. Maybe he's just trying to find his way now in this new meta, but here we are. Grenadiers coming down to the south. Might be able to cut off these riflemen. Not like it's going to be a major kill, but we'll see. Mortars in the meantime, they're shelling anything? No, they are not. And I'd almost be amused to see the lieutenant jump into this church and get blown to shreds because of it. In the meantime, though, it is still a triple cap. Americans are getting shoved back. At least, let's call it delicately shoved back. Lieutenant's going to come on in, force back the mortar teams. And the Grenadiers, we're going to push back the riflemen, at least for the time being. AA half-track should just rotate around and just blow them to shreds with that, honestly, that's a 37 mil as well, isn't it? Yeah, it is 37 mil and the 50 cal on top of it. 222 coming on in, but I don't think it's going to be enough to save the entire game at the moment. Although we are going to see the Lieutenant getting shoved on back. This dude right here, he has the Ghost BAR, it looks like. Clearly, he's carrying that in a shoulder strap of some sort. It's a weird-ass holster, too, one or the other. In any case, AA half-track continues to cause some issues here and there for the Grenadiers, but at this point, he's just really blowing apart the building more than actually causing damage. Where's that Pack? Pack is rotating down to the south. Not going to get a whole lot of immediate usage here. 222 as well. He's coming onto the field, and the Germans are trying to stem the bleeding. They've taken the northern VP back. They're taking the middle VP as well. And these rear echelons are getting blown to shreds. As the Germans begin to slowly bring up some veterancy on their troops. And isn't that kind of nice?
Battalion just released a major for action.
Being here right there, Major has been called on in as well. So guys, we'd probably see a Sherman before too much longer. Still several minutes away. But it'll be a lot quicker than one might think. 222 is going to laugh at being shot at. Then again, that 37 mil. Wow, I really underestimated exactly how good that 37 mil is. And it appears DonnieChan did as well. Was very aggressive for a couple of seconds and realized maybe I left the tea kettle on. I'll be back in a little bit, guys. Germans are able to cause a little bit of a problem, though, for this charging American force. Though they are going to flank around one side here, and this Pack 40, well, he's going to get caught out. Machine gun not going the right way either, and it's up to just this one squad of Grenadiers to blow apart this charge. Hasn't happened just yet. They're going to start dropping models like crazy. Oh my gosh, these riflemen are getting devastated, though. But there is that AA half-track right there again. To just maybe... There they go, get inside that house. I say maybe to pin them down. That's not going to happen. Where's the Pack? Pack is... Oh my gosh, getting in behind him. He's not going to get a shot off, though, unfortunately. And indeed, coming out lots of fire from this rifleman with the BAR. Again, guys, that Pack does not have the same mobility as the Rakettenwerfer does for the OKW. And you can see that happening right now. They are paying for it. And they're paying for it through the nose. Close range firefight, though. LMG against the rifleman out in the open. And this should be a very different story had this AA half-track not been here. You can see right now, causing a good amount of damage. Because the Germans, for the time being, they are able to get back in this game. They are starting to slowly bleed away the, let's say, the gains made by the Americans over the last several minutes. Pigren's being called in as well, so I don't know if that's coming in for the STGs necessarily. I'm also going to see tech up to Battle Phase 2. I'm not sure if that's for the STGs or that's going to be for a double Shrek. The Shrek may not be a bad idea. He has to know he's going to be behind on a lot of the earlier vehicle play. Faust, my friends. Faust, not going to get the chance. They're going to get forced on back instead. Isn't that a shame? And the Americans are diving on through this huge swath of investment. I'm surprised they're just going to stop and just shell these guys as they come back in. BARs by themselves might be enough to even do a lot more damage. Wonder if they had stopped instead and tried to, instead of running further and further to the south, how that might have gone. But now they've got themselves out in the open for too long. Mortars coming on down, doing some great damage here. 2 kills, 4 kills. Not quite the same amount that I was expecting. Sherman coming onto the field as well. And Pigren's not going to get there. They're not going for the Shreks just yet. They can't afford them. Ooh, BAR in the field. Ooh, so now these guys are dangerous. They have a BAR and they have the LMG. That is a delicious amount of firepower. That is like finger-licking good right there. Rear echelons, well, they're down here to the south taking away some territory. And these guys are, well, they are going to get pwned if they hang on around. But that double Zook does keep them still on the front lines, at least for the time being. Sherman will hit the field within a couple of minutes yet. But the Germans have caused enough bleed that the Americans are now below 400 tickets. They've lost 60 tickets over the last couple of minutes here. That's very well done, I'd have to say, from DonnieChan. 222 is in the area, not going to do a whole lot, and frankly, that initial defensive position will fall apart if the Germans are not careful here. And indeed, these poor guys up here getting pwned. These guys to the south, well, they're just taking territory back from the Germans. And with the AA half-track, as well as the Sherman, this guy could be dropping on in HE rounds, and that will just completely crush the center position over here for the Germans. Oh man, I don't. This might be a bait and switch. Pack 40. Fire, my friends, fire. There we go. Rounds coming on in, but there goes one mortar already, so that's a big loss. And not for a whole lot of damage either. Dropped a couple of models on that rifleman squad, and yeah, he took a little bit of damage on that Sherman. But, you know, not going to be enough. I do like, by the way, the changes that have been made to the Germans. They've taken a lot of the costs away from the tech structures and put it just purely on to tech up. So it allows you to go tech easier. First of all, to tech to battle phase 3 and build that, oh my gosh, heavy panzer corps, heavy tank corps, heavy armor corps. Oh my gosh, no, that's not right. Why am I not thinking right here? What is it? What is it? What is it? Heavy armor corps. I was right. Okay. And instead, ooh, this is bad. This is super bad. It's an HE Sherman. He fires one round, he's gonna blow the entire thing to look at this, look at this. One more round will do it. Oh, thank God, they got away. I mean, one guy went down to the drink. Rear armor hits as well, so that's a minor victory for the Americans. Not as much as it should have been. Germans, in the meantime, they have both mortars back under their control. And the Americans should really, I think, just continue to be pushing. I don't know, maybe even pressuring a little bit from the south. Hitting that reinforcement point with more than just a little bit of pressure from a couple of territory exchanges. Where's that machine gun? Well, he's still up to the north. He's out of range as well. So Germans are going to pick up the strategic point. They still own the middle VP, at least for the time being, and will continue to do so. Brave, brave amateurs that they are. Rifleman now with Zooks as well as a BAR. That's pretty darn good. And another 50 cal has been hitting the field. Ooh, what's in the north is going on? Okay, 222. Well, he's not going to be able to stand up to the heavier arms of the Americans, but we can pick on troops with those poor rear echelons. That's going to be enough for the time being. 50 cal will continue to cause issues, though. I'm surprised we haven't seen a complete pin. It's just a suppression at the moment. 222 coming in and around. Causes a little bit of consternation. Sherman is coming in, though, and that's going to cause this 222 either death or dismemberment. I haven't decided which one just yet. Luckily for the Americans, ooh, there goes the 222, courtesy of that Sherman. Luckily for the Americans, there was no mortar hit on the ice as he came on through. Pack 40s did get a beautiful little aggressive side shot, though, so well done there. And just going to be STG play coming on out for the Pegrins. They're costing some long-range firepower here, and that's really, really great. That's what they need, I think, right now.
The enemy is overrunning one
Down to the south, the Lieutenant is going to do quite well against these Grenadiers, especially with the AA half-track in support. And DonnieChan, I think, is struggling trying to get to those tanks. But his fuel income has just been so lackluster this game. STGs are moving on through. Bundle Grenade came on out and did a good amount of damage, it looks like, forcing back the Americans. I think probably picking up at least one kill, if not two. But the Americans are asserting their own particular brand of dominance on this map. Not that you would know from looking at the score, 354 to 340, the Germans controlled 2 VPs, and these Pegrins are going to get completely shredded by the Sherman. See, one shot, 50% of the squad dies. Down to the south, though, Pack 40 is getting forced on back by these riflemen as well, so as good as things were going for a bit of time for the Germans, well, there's a lot of pressure here. There's a lot of pressure. Probably going to see these guys get picked on off. AA half-track, well, he's going to squirt on through, and he's just going to completely wreck these mortars. Church has gone down. Support teams are getting completely owned. There goes one mortar. Yowza. You know, guys, I don't believe in RNGesus. But if that's God, yowza. I can't even say anything else but yowza. Wow, that was just an incredible turnaround there. DonnieChan is going to go and actually finally call in those Shreks. Good call, I would say. His own STGs are back in base, waiting for that reinforcement to come on through, and then here come the Shreks slowly being built on forwards. They take forever and a day to come on through, but that'll give him just a last little bit of mobile anti-tank, which I think he desperately needs at this moment. Americans will now pick up the middle VP, and the Germans, who are ahead for quite a bit, well, now they're going to start losing their own tickets at long last. But it will allow the Germans to pick up fuel point and the strategic point, though I do not think, will they be able to get that? I don't think they'll be able to get the supply around the corner here. Ouch. Oh no, they just went on top of that mortar team. That's a great call. Alright, I thought they maybe somehow did not quite get, this got shreked or something like that by the Sherman, but no, that did not happen. Machine gun team gets hurt pretty badly. This rifleman team surprisingly turning to shoot at that machine gun team instead. No, he is not, and I think that's a bit of a mistake there. Rifle grenade coming out through, takes out another model, and that last model retreating in disarray. We shall see. It looks like the Americans are threatening a triple cap here, and the Germans, well, he's just waiting to get the manpower to just maybe call in. Where is it? Wait, isn't he? He doesn't even have the support armor core yet. That's bad. That is very bad. Especially as now the Sherman has come back in the fray, and he is causing devastation yet again. 16 kills on him. Cruzz, in the meantime, well, Cruzz is going to go for the heavy cap company. DonnieChan going for that lightning war. I'm wondering if that's going to be him. I don't like him going for the Tiger late game. Well, it might be what he decides to go with. Cruzz is threatening that Pershing at the end, and if that comes out, guys, in addition to all the high up veterancy that we are seeing coming out of Cruzz, I do not know if DonnieChan can hold the line against this. Lieutenant pushing forward. Both Pack 40s, of course, taking some damage here, and the HE just continues to do all that disgusting amount of damage. That is the Grenadier Squad, by the way, who does have himself that BAR from the Americans. 50 cal coming up super close, and it's going to do a lot of damage if he gets inside that house. He's not going to do it for right now. Interesting. That's a little bit strange. All right. Germans are pushing up to the northern side, going to be able to push back against these Americans, and they're going to get pushed back. They will take the position, take another position indeed. These Pack 40s are leading this lieutenant squad in a merry chase. But will he get decruised, the question? Nope, not quite yet. At least we're not seeing the very, very irreverent fighting position with like the machine gun and rear echelons around it. Panzer Grenadiers, these guys have the opportunity right now to really be doing a lot of damage. They're not even paying attention, it looks like, and there comes the Pershing. Okay, so first of all, these guys go down. That's a big loss. It's 120 munis down the pipe, and there it is. That's a huge loss right there. Yeah, DonnieChan is trying to go for that Tiger play, it looks like. But now there's a Pershing on the field, and somehow, by some miracle, it's not a triple cap. So you have to give a little bit of credit over here to DonnieChan for being able to last against all of this firepower. 19 kills there. Where is you? How many kills do you have? Well, 11 on the vehicle crew, so a good chunk, after all. Two to 1 cap has come out though, 270 to 324. Germans continue to drop points here, and yeah, here's the play. He's going for that Tiger tank. He's staking all of his hopes and dreams on that. Does not have much in the way of veterancy at all. And indeed, there's almost more veterancy. Okay, there's half much veterancy on the vehicles as there is on the entirety of the German side of things. Wow, that Pershing comes in, throws 1 round down range and kills 3 models. Next shot that comes in blows these guys to shreds. There is very little the Germans can do here. one by one they get shoved on back. And again, how the Germans have not just almost thrown in the towel just yet is beyond me. But the Tiger is almost there. Another 30 seconds or so to even get the fuel for it. And the pack is there. He's just trying to hold the line against that Sherman, against that Pershing. The smoke projector's coming on through. Not going to be quite enough. Okay, Pershing blows apart one of these houses. And there goes the Sherman. Despite being in the smoke, he gets taken on out. I think I probably would have tried to smoke up between the two, but alright, you know what? That is what it is. There's a lot of dead structures, it seems, on this map already. We got 2 structures right there, and there's a 3rd one over here, and oh my gosh, I'm surprised. 4th one right there. So no ambients are going to be used on this map, and that's obviously a good thing since neither player has any ambients to call on in. And there is that Tiga Panzerkampfwagen 6. Grenadier trading fire with Lieutenant. Well, I say retreating fire, he's retreating from the firepower of that Lieutenant. Rifleman as well, trying to get in on the action. Trying to pick on this guy. Probably going to take him on out. Only a sliver of health. Yep, there he goes. Tiger is there, though. He is angry, and he's trying to start throwing out pain and retribution against both of these guys, I would think. Anti-tank rifle grenade. Barely scratches the armor. And the age of the big kitty has come. MG gonna keep control of this position right here. Very, very quick rush coming on up from the Lieutenant. And any second.
We're losing a capture point.
Oh my gosh, it'd be the fight of the Titans here. Tiger against Pershing. That Pershing has a huge gun, folks. I could not tell you exactly how huge it is. I would say that the guy to ask about that will be Williams. Hopefully he's watching this video right now. But with the Pack 40s as well as that Tiger, that Pershing needs to back on off. Those Zooks are not causing too much of a better environment for that Tiger tank. Captain has pushed on through, but he's getting forced back as well. How has the Lieutenant not been pinned yet? There we go. Not going to get pinned, but forced back is good enough, at least for the time being. My question is this guy... Yep, he does. He does have the... No, he's not. I would have thought he had the beacon set up, but I guess not. Doesn't he? I don't see the beacon at all. It's a problem. All right. Germans will take the northern VP back to stem the bleeding some more. They are again down 115 tickets. And for some reason, the Germans want to sit here and exchange firepower with a 50 cal in cover. Well, they are not in cover. Mortars will go go a long way to discourage that disparity. And in 3 rounds, take out the position. So maybe I have to eat my own words. It looks like the Germans have sacrificed the Vestal Virgins necessary to bring back the blessing of the gods above. Big boom takes out that squad, though, so maybe I'm wrong. And 50 cal has been picked on up. That's a great pickup right there. Pershing is going to get pounded by a Pack 40 for a couple of rounds before Riflemen come on in with Zooks and Vinegar. And he gets sent away packing just as fast. Zook gets blown off and left on the ground. And you, good sir, are slowly getting repaired by those Pioneers. This guy is the heart and soul of the German defense right now. Intelligently, there is not the attempt... Ooh, wow, that's big. 2 BARs. Okay, Pioneers. A Pioneer squad with 2 BARs. That is redonkulous. Picks up the Pack 40, runs back, reinforces. No, he's just going to try to go and pick up as much health as possible. Okay, that's probably a good idea. Oh, boy. This is so weird to see. There's been so much action so far. I think a lot of the top players, a lot of the higher players are still trying to figure out their play style with this new patch. It's been about a month, so you would think these guys are pretty much settled, but I guess not. Going to this 30th minute, 324 to 179, the Germans are still down quite a bit. Pershing charging on in. And 50 cal is going to cause some issues, but only just momentarily keeping the Americans at bay before falling back. It's an intelligent choice right there. I'm so lost there. I kept thinking this is the VP, but just because all these buildings are blown up, I don't see the common landmarks. Tiger almost back, completely in the fray. Pack 40 is sitting forwards, a little bit too far forwards, but the Tiger will be enough to discourage, I think, the close-in attacks. Mortars are being pushed on back, retreating like crazy. Good call right there. And yeah, BAR Pioneers. I would never thought I was going to say something like that, but BAR Pioneers, it's incredibly good. Another Pack 40 gets called right back into the fray. And this captain, I think, is trying to discourage that kind of recruitment, but it's not going to do him a lot of good. And unlike other games like Steel Division, oof, upgraded shots, you have to discard Sabo rounds. Unlike Steel Division, you don't see the same kind of penetration from the bazooka that you do see on the other RTS. Tiger is showing his heels to the 57 mil. He's going to pay for it quite a bit. He's got to back up right about now. Rounds slamming down all around that position. These guys have to back away. The capture's 50 cal. Okay. The 74 to 71 army supply, 152 to 324. Germans sitting on half the ticketage that the Americans have, but doesn't seem to bother DonnieChan that much. In fact, he seems to be getting more aggressive as time goes on as opposed to less. Until he takes hits like that. Pack 40 sets back up, trying to get line in on this Pershing. They'll do a pretty good job of it. This infantry will going to get forced on back. Ping, ping. Yeah, you know what? I'll trade AT guns to pick off your Pershing. That's fine with me. One goes down, but not going to take that kill just yet. Tiger is not back and prepared into the fray either. So the question is, will this be a American AT gun then? Definitely missing an opportunity if he's not. He's not going to go for it. Interesting. Mortar teams are going to find themselves being aggressed on by BAR rear echelons and double Zooks. No, sorry, Zook and mine laying, so a little bit less terrifying than you might think. And now these rear echelons probably want to get out of dodge pretty darn quick. BAR squad might go down. We continue to see a weird graphical bug happening.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
So through just sheer balls out frustration and aggression, it looks like the Germans are slowly taking back territory. Recall, guys, less than 15 minutes ago, they were almost back, just cornered in their own base. Zooks are coming on forward with BARs. There's that M1 who's desperately trying to cause a lot of damage to that Tiger. And that Pack 40's been blown to pieces, but I don't know if the Americans can hold out at this point. I mean, they definitely still have the ticket advantage. But that Tiger is slowly mauling everything that the Americans hold dear. Prop mortars indeed is probably your own stinking mortar. Yeah, it's your own mortar. 11 kills, 8 kills. Pack 40 moving on forwards. And if he can get any kind of pressure right here, he's not going to get that 200 close air support. If he did, that'd be amazing. Take out the ambo, put pressure on that Pershing, maybe even damage that Sherman. The Sherman backs up into it. But I don't see that happening necessarily. And DonnieChan is just, if he's going to go down, he's going down swinging. Okay, Sherman is going to go and throw rounds out against that Pack 40. And the Pershing, for some reason, is trying to aggress through these buildings. Mortar rounds coming on in, though, and the Americans are getting blown to pieces. It's just shredded. 60% of the infantry just bolts for the hills all at once, and that's a good measure of the anti-tank, even some of their anti-infantry, for that matter. So while the Grenadiers are getting hammered quite a bit as well by this newest Sherman, and by the way, one more round would make you enough to take him out. He's gonna get close enough for it, though. Geez, Pershing's getting aggressed on Tigers coming down. Oh my god, there goes, destroys the engine, so he's still up technically. Oh my god, this is such a turnaround. Tiger, it might go down from this one, just getting hammered by all this nonsense. But that's a big part of the American war machine. There it goes, finally, at long last. But what has he lost to do it? Cruz is down to under 60 army supply. A lot of his stuff is just under strength by incredible amounts. He's got one rifleman squad almost fully kitted out, as well as 150 cal, who's nowhere near the front lines. And the Americans are getting... Wow. They're getting pushed back like crazy. Ambo's gone. You see the pinwheel of death on top of that right there. Pershing is gone. Pioneer's getting pushed on back, though, because, well, even when you think you've beaten back the Americans, they will kind of, well, they'll cause some quite a few issues here. But for the longest time, the Germans were just dropping tickets, and now it's finally the Americans doing so. Slowly building back up their armies. The first time I can remember, at least in that I can remember, the Germans had an army supply advantage. Of course, it might be also because there is nobody in that Sherman at the current time. There we go. Alright. Alright. Germans pushing on forwards. They take this, they cut off the American supply position, and it gets really, really dire really fast. What's more is these pioneers just kind of hang on out. Not a whole lot of danger at the current time. I take that back. Regardless, look what just happened to the supply position for the Americans. They've lost their fuel point to the south, they lost munitions point to the south, they lost the 3 strategic points to the south. That's huge, I would say. That's just me, but I think that's pretty huge. Now, is DonnieChan going to go and try to wait and stall out for another Tiger? I mean, it's a possibility. It's not a great one, but it's a possibility. He is using this moment to just start taking back a lot of territory, though, and the Americans don't have the kind of build that could push this back. Rear echelons and major getting thrown away in just rapid disorder. Artillery strike coming on down. That's going to cause some issues. It's nice to see that happening. Not too often that we get to see those call-ins being utilized. Usually see the major comes on in, the major comes in, he throws down a retreat point, and that's it. So we always kind of forget about that quick arty barrage. That also the fake rapid barrage. That thing terrifies me. But regardless, M1 now trying to be used for anti-personnel, which is just not a good idea. Coupled with the fact that that 50 cal's been taken over here by the Germans, rifleman getting shoved on back, LMG is causing some issues, and the captain doesn't do a whole lot either. It is up to people like this AA half-track to cause the issues necessary. Rear armor hit, one more shot should do it. And pink, and there they go. That's another loss. That was a kind of a silly one at that. I did like the reversing, so he could at least immediately start firing the heavier gun. But maybe not the most efficient positioning of him. 102 to 276, though. Germans continue to claw back territory. They're going to lose this fuel point to the north, I think, but they will take it back to the south, as well as remove their position away from the Americans here. Question is, now we have, okay, well, BAR Pioneers coming on through. Will they drop BARs on retreats? They haven't yet. That's surprising. There they go. There's the BAR. Alright. Luckily for the Americans, the mortar rounds do not blow a big enough hole in the ice to cause issues and drown that M1. Alright, though. Support teams trying to hold out against this American attack. 50 cal is going to be able to put some good suppression down. And that is a legit artillery strike yet again. But I'm wondering, will some of the American position get caught in this as well? Not quite. He barely does not. One more round right there. Nope. Not gonna happen. Instead, it's just these Pioneers and Grenadiers doing their work.
They're down to 100 points.
Yes, they are down to 100 points. And here comes another Pershing. No other Pershing? Why no other Pershing? And there goes the Major as well. So infantry dropping like crazy for Cruz. He can call in quite a bit of it, but he's just not doing so. Sherman coming around to the south, going to start putting pressure on this 50 cal. Might be able to take it out with a round or two. But there you go. He's going to retreat with that instead. That's a decent call. And where are those pack 40s? Well, we got one of them is kind of rotating down to the south. No, he's back in base. Forgive me. There's a Pershing, though.
A capture point is under attack.
And DonnieChan is playing for that second Tiga. But he doesn't have the anti-tank that he needs. I don't think that's going to be enough to push back the Sherman and the Pershing. He will at least take back this position here. And BAR is being picked back up. Oh man, guys, you should have picked up that BAR. That should have been done a long time ago. Pershing laughs at the pitiful fire being thrown at him by his LMG-42s. The LMGs are just there just to kind of distract and to hold the focus of them. And there you go. That's one going to the Germans. The second one probably going to go to the Germans, although, never mind, there he goes. We have another, what, 50 or 60 before we get that Tiga? So another 15, 20 seconds. I'll see that Tiga being called out pretty darn quick. Mark my words. Remember, guys, that is 20 pop cap. So with that, he will again be above the Americans. That was just shocking to me to see how much infantry remains or exists now for the Germans. All of it really support teams or the vehicle repair, let's call it.
A capture point is under attack.
Okay, M1 going to capture that point. Okay, you got to call the Tiga in now. Call the Tiga in now and go after them because you're going to lose your entire position to center part of the map. Not going to do it though. Tiga's not being called in. He is just tunneling on this engagement. All of his support teams are going down. There's the Tiga at long last. There's a stun. You see the new stun coming on out the target weak point. That thing is deliciously good. And he takes it out. Wow, he takes out the Pershing by himself. Hero pack. Hero pack. He dies, but he dies as he lived. A baller. Mortar team still plucky, hanging on in there. And this human wave attack coming in from the Germans. One HE round could completely devastate this. And no, he's just picking up support weapons here and there. Tiger comes in, though. He is angry. He wants some revenge. And he's going to get it, too. Even firing low. There we go. That's a drowning.
Just lost a medium tank.
That's a drowning right there. M1 in the meantime, he's firing rounds impotently at the side of that metal beast. And it's like, what are you going to do to that? I mean, come on. That thing's a heavy tank. And the heaviest of tanks, but a stinking heavy tank. It's not a Königstiga, but oh my gosh, but still 25, 30 tons pretty easily without breaking a sweat. Lieutenant down here, the M1. M1's got a couple more seconds of that discarded Sable rounds, but he's not going to get that shot off. And the Tiga just circle strafes it. And just begins to dominate. He's just going to go and harass it to death. And there you go. Interesting thing I do want to point out, it's kind of interesting on the M1, is that they had these... Okay, maybe not in that one. They had this slightly spaced armor skirting on it that had just a slight bit of air between the two, which gave both mobility to it, made it a super, super light platform, but at the same time gave a ton of anti-personnel protection. Just by dint of that slight space. Think of it as, oh my gosh, like reactive plating? Nah. I'll think of a better metaphor at some point. Grenadier squad does go down, but still it is a 2-to-1 in favor of the Germans now, and I don't think they're going to relinquish control of this. This captain's here, and the captain is, his squad is very well armed. But you're not going to use bazookas to take out... You're not, yeah, you're just not going to use a bazooka to take that out. So, we're going to see another Pershing being called in, a third Pershing. Mortar is on the field. We're going to see a pack gun over here as well. I think the Germans at this point are just planning on, you know, waiting this out. They have a ton of infantry. They have enough repair teams to go on for days. Support teams holding down anti-infantry, anti-infantry, anti-infantry. MG-42 is the two of those, and a 50 cal right here to just deal with every last bit of the American infantry. And it's shocking to think that this entire thing has inverted completely from where it was at the beginning part of this game. Tiger's waiting. Just waiting. Question is, will somebody come back over here to recrew this pack, or just be Tiger against Pershing? Panzer v Pershing. The round 3. The rubber match, so to speak, even though there really is no rubber to be had. It was a Tiger, and then it was a pack taking out the Pershing. So first shot goes to the Pershing. Tiger just doesn't even deign to fire at it.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
Yowza. S Minefield's just devastating that poor rear echelon squad. And Cruz is going to drop that last point over here towards the Germans. This Pioneer squad, I think, will just hold out just barely long enough. Nope, never mind. Caster's Curse. Well, one pack's back in. Second pack is now here as well. They're going to start rotating down to pick off this Pershing. That guy's dead. This entire game is over. I mean, the game pretty much is over, to be fair. Assuming that Tiga does not buy it. But 1 pack, 2 pack, 3 Panzer floor for him. But it's been a thrilling game though, guys. I mean, geez, 46 minutes of action. And it's going to go back to the Americans yet again, 2-1 cap. But the Germans have just been so plucky throughout all of this. These mortars at the same time. Dropping the mortar early on, allowing it to be recrewed by the Germans. It doesn't sound like much. But those mortars really kept the Germans in this. They really, really did. Pershing comes charging on in aggressively, pushes back one Grenadier squad. 1 pack's in that area right now. The second one's coming on up as well. He's going to go and try to lure him on in, it looks like. He doesn't care. He's just going to allow it to be shot. Damaged engine. Alright. But packs are just poning him yet again. And the mortar, again, the mortar is just causing so many issues here. Barraging down to the south, they lose that strategic point, but in the broad scheme of things, who cares? I think there's a quick repair trying to get this guy to get rid of the engine critical. Tiga is slow enough without being forced into a hobble.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Echelon troops
can't afford a single tank still as OST. Yeah, I mean that's kind of true. Ostia doesn't exactly have the same kind of teching up ability as you would see otherwise. But we still do have that battle phase too. So there's been no tech structure built. Then again, he hasn't needed to. He's been living on this Tiger the entire time. That and a prayer, but no Bon Jovi on this map. The big mass of troops right here, but the pack's moving on forward. German infantry coming in behind. And that Tiga is just holding the line here. He's just like, you know what? You shall not pass. Okay, maybe you can pass for right now. But the pack's in the area. And the first couple of rounds don't do a whole lot. Okay. The anti-tank gun front. Oh my god. One more round, would that be enough? Not quite. But again, trading lives for time, the Germans can do this. That, oh my gosh, the Pershing brews up yet again. That's 3 Pershings going on down. 1 pack yet again dying here, but you can't take these losses. The Pershing has been using these frontal assaults every single time. Perhaps you haven't seen the shots come over here to take out this 3-star rifleman, but okay. Rear echelons in the meantime drawing more firepower, it looks like, and the Grenadiers coming in behind, but don't get that last bit of pain going on through. And there's the cap coming on through. I would not be surprised to see Cruz tap on out. He's got nothing left. He's got nothing. Dropping that Sherman into the drink was a bad thing. Unlucky. Although I think he got a little bit too aggressive with that, sending it on in without any kind of infantry support. But you gotta hand it, I think, both also to DonnieChan. His resiliency throughout all of this was very well played.
Just got cut off.
Very, very well played. And call it morbid, but I'd like to see the body drift through the water. If you know it's been blown up on top of the ice, but whatever.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And that's a trip cap for the Germans, and the Germans hold almost all the points on this map. Now the only problem is you gotta get this Tiger off the ice. If you lose this to the ice, that is just embarrassing, and I love to see how much that traction is just working so hard trying to get it off the flow. Americans trying very, very hard to push back through. Maybe somehow they can get some sort of last little FU assault. But wow! Blowing them to pieces, and there goes the entire squad. Those guys are under the ice. Wow, he actually did drown. That's quite terrifying. So just shy of 50 minutes with an end score of 85-96, DonnieChan pulls out the W by way of surrender. And what a thrilling game that was, guys. Come on, you got to be fair. This is a game about resiliency, and DonnieChan definitely showed that in spades today. Well done to him. Bad luck to Cruz. Unfortunately, a couple of missed tactical decisions cost him the game, but let's not judge him too harshly. That was entertaining, I think, on all points. Regardless, folks, that'll be enough for me today. I appreciate you guys coming back out for some more Company of Heroes 2 action. If you haven't yet checked out some of my other stuff, you should do so. But for right now, this is Conor signing off. Take it easy, everybody.